Hello and welcome to Prep Smart. So today we are going to discuss about the important news articles that came today in the Hindu and also in the Indian Express. So these are the total 6 articles that we are going to cover in today's newspaper discussion. So the first news that we are going to start today is with that India is going to start with its very first hydrogen fueled train system. So PM Narendra Modi ji, he is going to flag off the very first hydrogen powered train in Jind, Haryana on 17th of July. So this news is very much important for our upcoming examinations, because after launching this particular hydrogen powered train, India will join the elite group of certain developed nations where till now the hydrogen powered trains are in operation. So what are those nations? Like Japan, South Korea, US, Canada, they have the hydrogen powered trains. These hydrogen powered trains are also known as hydrail. Okay, these hydrogen powered trains are also called the hydrail or H trains. Now, what is very important about this particular train? What is the mechanism by they are going to work? That is what we need to understand all about. Okay, so let us first start with certain configurations or the features of this particular train. So as I have already told you that this particular train will lead to zero carbon dioxide gas emission. Okay, there will be no carbon dioxide gas emission because the energy that will be supplied here will come from the combination of hydrogen and oxygen, which will typically lead to release of the water vapor. Okay, so there will be a clean chemical reaction, and in that clean chemical reaction, the reaction center or the reaction chamber needs a compressed hydrogen gas along with the atmospheric oxygen, and this atmospheric oxygen will be collected from the air directly. Then these two gases will be chemically react with each other inside the hydrogen fuel cell. Now, once reacting inside the hydrogen fuel cell, that will generate electricity and the water vapor will be released in the air. So that means we can understand that this particular train is very important for our national green hydrogen mission, right? This project aligns with also India's goal to achieve net zero carbon dioxide gas emission by 2017 and transition to an energy independent economy by 2047. So this point is very important in terms of answer writing in your GS3. Also, they can ask you about the mechanism of this particular train or what kind of pollution it can cause in your prelims questions. Okay, now this train has been, it has been said that this will be hydrogen for heritage initiative, because through this particular railway mechanism, Indian Railways will be approving indigenous 10 car hydrogen train set, and it will be running from Jind, Haryana to Sonipat. Okay, so total distance it will cover will around 89 kilometers in the travel time of 2 hours. And the operational speed of this particular train will be 75 kilometer per hour. The maximum speed that it can achieve is around 120 kilometers per hour. Okay, and currently the seat that will be there in this particular train will be around 682 seats distributed in total 10 coaches. Okay, so that will be the key features of this particular train. Now, if we, as I told you that about the context of hydrogen transition, why it is important, because that will lead to use of cleaner energy, and also our goal to zero emission by 2070. So that is why this hydrogen train is very important. Currently, it will be launched in a pilot base, and depending on what success are achieved, the other trains will be launched. Okay. Now, this is how the hydrogen train will be working. Basically, in this system, the power distribution is divided into two parts. So, there is basically there is a hydrogen fuel cell where the oxygen and the hydrogen will react to create the water vapor. Okay, and then from there, the protons, because hydrogen has, if you break water, we get H plus OH minus, simple chemistry reaction. Now H plus is also known as protons. Okay, so these protons will be exchanging through a proton exchange membrane or PEM, and in turn that will supply the electrons in the electrical circuit, and as a result the power that is generated will be stored in a lithium battery. Okay, and as and when the battery is required, the energy is required, basically that will be supplied from the battery to the main engine. That is how this is going to work. Okay, so that is how this is going to work. Now, so as I told you that this will be working in the mechanism of, so suppose there will be a fuel cell. In the fuel cell, the hydrogen and oxygen will react to create the water, right? Now, when the car or basically the train is starting, like basically when the engine speed is very low, in that particular condition, the power demand is also very low. So, whatever the surplus energy that is generated by this fuel cell will be stored in the battery. Okay, so all the surplus energy will be stored here in the battery when the train is operating at a low speed. Okay, now after this, when the train will attain the optimum operational speed and it requires more energy, in that condition whatever energy is stored in the battery, that will be used, and then when the train again reaches to the station, we know again the speed of the train is going to drop. So now whatever excess energy that is produced by the fuel cell, that will be again stored back into the battery. So by the time when the train will be completing its journey, around 80% energy will be saved in the battery. So that is phenomenal. So that are the certain things we should be knowing about this particular train. And apart from that, if we talk about that, how the production is going to happen. So basically, as we can see here, so let me zoom it out. Okay. Okay. So basically, if we talk about that storing and supplying the hydrogen, so normal atmospheric pressure. So we use the unit of bar to measure the atmospheric pressure. Now hydrogen, however, has to be stored around 200 to 500 bar, because the hydrogen that will be supplied in the fuel cell must be supplied with high pressure, and then only the hydrogen will be converted into a liquid instead of a gas. Now this was also a big challenge, that how this highly pressurized hydrogen will be supplied as a clean fuel. For that also, the government has created a facility to supply the high pressured hydrogen. They have created a 300 kg capacity fueling facility in the Jind itself. Okay, and to keep the hydrogen at minus 15 degrees Celsius temperature, that is at very low temperature, what they are basically doing, they have also enabled a very low temperature condition in that particular situation. So that is all we need to know about the hydrogen train that is going to be launched here in India. And also please remember, this will be one of the world's longest hydrogen train, because it will be covering around 89 kilometers and most powerful hydrogen train sets that is available in the all over the world. Okay. So after this, the next news is, okay, so the next news is from international relations. So here we are going to discuss about that what are the key takeaways that we got after Prime Minister Modi's New Zealand visit is over on this Saturday. So basically, Prime Minister Modi was out for his visit of three nations, starting with Indonesia, then Australia, and finally he was in New Zealand. And while he was in New Zealand, he discussed with the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who is Christopher Luxon, and during that discussion, certain points has come up. So we are going to talk about these points. Okay, so before that, we also should be remembering some of the points that we have already discussed yesterday, that Prime Minister Modi is the first Prime Minister from India in 40 years visit New Zealand. Okay, and having a bilateral talk. So that is very important. Now, what are the discussions that has come up? So there were 18 concrete outcomes, including 10 agreements. And in these agreements, there is a 4-year roadmap to expand overall relations alongside 3 crucial pacts aimed at boosting hydrographic data sharing, facilitating mutual naval logistics, and framing enhanced maritime engagement in the Indo-Pacific. Okay, so basically what are the discussions that has come out between Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Luxon during their discussion. So first of all, they have talked about a free, open and prosperous Indo-Pacific. This I am telling you multiple times because starting from this month, Prime Minister Modi has visited different nations like Seychelles. He first went to Seychelles, then he also went to meet with Mauritius, then he went to Indonesia, Australia, and now New Zealand. And all of these areas, the talk about maritime security, free and open and prosperous Indo-Pacific is coming up multiple times. And there India is talking about its Act East policy and the Mahasagar vision. Okay, Mahasagar vision. So that is very important. He have talked about a peaceful Indo-Pacific comes and growing global concerns over China's increasing military muscle flexing, because recently there was a submarine launched ballistic missile was shown by China in the Indo-Pacific Ocean. So that is also one of the concerns. So they have talked about this. Now, what are the major outcomes that has come here? So these are the major takeaways from the India-New Zealand bilateral ties. First of all, they have talked about boosting the bilateral trade by 2030. So they have agreed about doubling the amount of doubling the bilateral trade by $7 billion by 2030. They have also talked about a 4-year structural roadmap to 2030 so that they can plan to scale up the technology, innovation and agricultural productivity in both the nations. And they can also benefit the industries, farmers and youth, also boost the investment and supply chain integration. In terms of India-New Zealand FTA, that is Free Trade Agreement and Tariff, the Free Trade Agreement was already signed in this year, April. And as per this Free Trade Agreement, India got 100% exemption on the duty in all its exports, and New Zealand got a 57% in duty exemption, and that will eventually increase and it will reach up to 95%. Now, during this talk, they have talked about immediately affecting this particular free trade agreement. And in this free trade agreement, India has also secured to give domestic protection to many of its agricultural products like domestic dairy, sugar, onions, and farmers to protect the local livelihood. Okay, so that is about the India and New Zealand free trade agreement. Okay, in terms of security and relief, they have talked about the maritime dialogue, where they have talked about the free and secure the India-Pacific Oceans. Apart from that, New Zealand also announced its intention to invest around 20 billion US dollars Okay, 20 billion US dollars for the upcoming 15 years in India. Okay, that has also been discussed. So these were the major takeaways that has come here. And in terms of the shared Indo-Pacific vision, the two leaders, that is Prime Minister Modi from our country and their Prime Minister, has committed for a free, open, inclusive, stable, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. And they have said that there should be freedom of navigation and overflight. Okay, and they have talked about obeying the rules of the UN clause. Okay, obeying the rules of UN clause so that they can respect the international law and the peaceful resolution of the disputes. Okay, so these were all about the key takeaways that was there. Next, yesterday, our Indian Navy has also commissioned the stealth frigate INS Mahendragiri, right, in the Visakhapatnam coast. So INS Mahendragiri comes in the P-17A Talwar class. This is the 6th advanced stealth frigate, and this has been given the name after the mountain range of Mahendragiri that is present in Odisha, and Mahendragiri is part of the Eastern Ghats, right? And more than 75% of the parts of Mahendragiri is indigenous. So that is basically embolizing the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. And this Mahendragiri, different cutting edge technology weapons are present. One of the very important one is a sophisticated diesel or gas combined propulsion system. Okay, CODOG is present. Combined diesel or gas propulsion system. Apart from that, integrated platform management system and advanced radar defense systems are also present. Okay. So these are the important points regarding INS Mahendragiri. So this we have already discussed about what kind of vessels are there. And apart from that, as I told you that this belongs to the Nilgiri class, because the first vessel, the first stealth frigate of this particular class was INS Nilgiri, which was commissioned in 2025. Then INS Udaygiri and Himgiri commissioned together. Then comes INS Taragiri. Last month, INS Dunagiri was launched by Prime Minister in Kolkata port. And then yesterday, INS Mahendragiri was commissioned in Visakhapatnam. Okay, so INS Dunagiri was launched in Kolkata. So can you tell me in the comment that what was the particular occasion during which INS Dunagiri was launched? Okay, please tell me that in the comment section. Now, after that, next we are going to talk about that government has strictly mandated to comply with the directives of the Vande Mataram. So Vande Mataram, as we all know, is our national song, right? And who wrote Vande Mataram? Vande Mataram was written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, and it was published for the first time in his novel Anandamath in 1880s. Right? And if I ask you that, can you tell me the name of the Congress session when Vande Mataram was first sung? Who was the president of that Congress session and who sing the song for the first time? Can you pause the video and tell me the answers in the comment? Okay, so first let us start one by one. As I told you that Vande Mataram song was written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. We all know that the Vande Mataram song was written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Right? So first he wrote the book in one of his journal. The name of the journal was Bongo Darshan. Okay, so the name of the journal was Bongo Darshan. Okay, and a letter from Bongo Darshan, this song was published in his novel Anandamath. Anandamath in the year 1880. Okay, Okay, and this song was particularly sung during the session of Congress in 1896. Okay, so during that 1896, so this will be 1882 to be very specific, during the 1896 session of Congress, this song was sung. Okay, so now the Vande Mataram has the honor of our national song, and the center has said that the national song should be sung in all of the governmental functionaries that is being held, right? So for that, the national song should be sung before the national anthem, before the national anthem. Okay, at the beginning, this could be played at the beginning or at the end, or if anybody wants, they can also sing it twice in the same event. Okay, and they have also said that very strictly to follow the correct dictation, correct pronunciation, the script and the text of this particular national song. So that for that also they have mandated the guidelines. So this was issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, and as we also know that there was a discussion happening in our parliament regarding release of the entire song of Vande Mataram. So this particular song of Vande Mataram has total 6 stanzas. So there are 6 stanzas, right? And that requires 3.10 minutes to sing the entire song. So that has been said that during singing, these things should be very much kept into mind, that they should be sung or played at official events and be given precedence over the national anthem. Okay, now it has been also proposed that this particular song should be given equal status as per the Prevention of Insults to National Honor Act 1971. As per this act, currently our national anthem, that is Jana Gana Mana, our national flag and the Constitution of India, these are mentioned in this particular act, and if any person insults any of these 3 things, they are subject to punishment or imprisonment, fine, or both, if they are doing any kind of insult of our national anthem, our national flag and constitution. Now it has been also been proposed, and it is in the bill format, that our national song, that is Vande Mataram, should also be given the equal due respect in terms of the National Honor Act 1971. Okay, so this about this particular news. Next, we are going to talk about that in India, for the very first time, the deadly bird virus PABV4 has been identified. Now, what is this PABV4? So, PABV4, the full name is parrot bornavirus 4. So this is a highly contagious avian pathogen. So first of all, no need to be panicked. This is a virus that is affecting the birds, and very specifically the birds of the parrot family. Okay, so this virus belongs to the species of orthobornavirus. Now, what happens when the bird is infected with this particular virus? The virus gets a disease called proventricular dilation disease. Basically, in this particular disease, there will be a progressive fatal neurological, means in the nerves, in the brain of the bird, and gastrointestinal wasting syndrome, and also the digestive system will slowly start getting dysfunctional. Okay, now one of the major problem in this particular disease is that recently many birds who are like basically grown in captivity from Assam, West Bengal, right? These parts, it has been seen that majority of birds, they have been died, or they are having this particular virus, but they are asymptomatic. What does asymptomatic means? Asymptomatic means from their from the feces of the bird, from the stool of the bird, the virus has been found, but the bird has no prevalent symptoms. So from by seeing the bird, you cannot understand the bird is infected. But in the stool sample, the virus is present. And the problem is this virus will infect the digestive system of the bird. So slowly, the digestive system will start becoming non-functional. Bird's belly will start to swell, and eventually it will stop functioning entirely, and the bird will die. Okay, so how this particular virus transmit? They can be transmitted through contaminated food, water, saliva, or feces of the bird, as well as this can be transferred from the parent bird to the baby bird through the egg. Okay, so as I told you that this is there is also a concern of silent asymptomatic shedding through the guano or the dropping of the bird through the feces of the bird. So that is one of the problem. And for detecting this particular virus, currently RT-PCR technique is used. RT-PCR is the one that we studied during our COVID timings. Okay. So yeah, this about this particular virus. And lastly, we are going to talk about a news from the sports section, a very important and very good news that India has stopped in Diamond League debut. Okay, so basically Diamond League is an annual series of outdoor track and field meetings which is organized by World Athletics. It was established in 2010. Now there are total 32 different types of events that has been conducted here, like 200-meter run, 400-meter run, then javelin throw, discus throw, all of different types of events happen here. Now, till now, in the particular area of jumper, high jumper script, there was none of the Indian who has created history or taken the place in the top 3. So this particular 31-year-old athlete whose name is Sarvesh Kushare, and he has become the first Indian high jumper to finish in the top 3 on his Diamond League debut. Okay, so he was in the 3rd position. He jumped for 2.26 meters. First was world leader Ole Doroschuk. He is from Ukraine. And then second was Britain's Jack Kimani. Okay, so because of that, before that, now if from the question, it is given in the statement that in none of the events India has debuted in the Diamond League, then that will be wrong. Okay, India has debuted in Diamond League, but in other sports, like Neeraj Chopra has been a part in the because of a javelin throwing. Then there is also Sri Shankar Murali and discus thrower Vikas Gaura. So these people have already been achieved their success in Diamond League. But in terms of jumping, high jumping, this is the first time that any Indian has entered in the top 3 positions. So the name of the athlete is very important. Please remember his name. His name is Sarvesh Anil Kushare. Okay, Sarvesh Anil Kushare. And now he is also the oldest active Indian athlete to hold a national record. Okay, so these are the all important news that we need to cover for today. And okay, also the last point, please remember from this thing that the Diamond League final was held in this year, Brussels, Belgium. Okay, the entire event happened across 14 different international cities, but the 2-day final was happening in Brussels, Belgium. Okay, so yeah, this was all for today's newspaper discussion. Hope these discussions are helping you. If you have any suggestions, the way I can improve and I can help you, please let me know. I will be looking forward to your comments. And till then, take care. Have a nice Sunday. Bye-bye.